everybody, Jewel back with another super cool astrology video. Still working on my office, so it's nice and echoey in here. I'm painting, but this is my green, the top color. The bottom I'm gonna change. I'm not really happy with that, so I think I'm gonna do that in blue. But I love the top. It's like a silver green sage. So when I'm done, I'll give you a nice tour of my brand new space. So today we're talking about Moon quintile to partners Pluto. What happens when we have this in Synastry? So you will not find very much information out there on quintiles in Synastry. On the internet or in books, there's not a lot of research, and there's definitely not a lot of writings about them. Most astrologers do not deal with quintiles or even the minor aspects like noviles or septiles. I do. I actually believe that the minor aspects are very important and they hold just as much weight as the major aspects. I don't make differences between major and minor aspects personally. I do in the sense that there are, in my opinion, minor hard aspects, but I give just as much weight in a birth chart to quintiles and septiles and noviles, although understanding that septiles and noviles are sometimes not always active. Those can be contexts that become active. So when we have quintiles in Synastry, you have to understand the nature of the quintile. And if you haven't watched my video on what quintiles and biquintiles are, you should stop this and go to my playlist that is, I think it's Aspects in Astrology, and find the quintile, biquintile aspect of talent. And watch that first, and then come back to this. So it is an aspect of talent, creativity, relentless drive to produce something of worth or value. So there is a very playful and intellectually creative energy exchange when we have a quintile going on in Synastry. So it is a very supportive influence that's always going towards growth. There's this natural, effortless understanding of how each planet that is contacted operates. And so they're always like pushing each other forward towards creating something, towards becoming better, towards learning, towards growth, always going towards something. So the trajectory of this particular contact in Synastry is very much about forward. As opposed to there's other ones, that are very much about keeping us in the past or reminding us of the past or bringing us to, bring finality to things of the past. This is very much about a futuristic type of quality between these two planets. So it can become an irritating influence because it is so focused on the forward. There really isn't a lot of compromise with the quintile. It really is kind of a pushy influence. Typically that is not a negative because they are going towards positivity. So you're really not allowed to rest with the quintile energy. It's very much looking for action. And if you consider the number 5, I'm trying not to step in paint because it's all around me. If you consider the numerology of the number 5, it gives you a very good insight into what the quintile is about. That is action and playful accomplishment and playful learning. Very much, about the personality of Mercury. So they push each other forward very much, is the short explanation. So Moon, specifically quintile to Pluto, The Pluto person is very much focused on having the moon person explore their darkest recesses, the moon person's darkest recesses themselves, and the Pluto person's as well. They have a sense that the moon person has some very emotional insight into what they are about. The moon person has a sense that the Pluto person has very penetrating insight into what they are about. So there is this action of exploration between the two when we have the quintile going on. They're very fascinated by what they may be able to learn from each other in this particular contact. So the Pluto person really can feel like their beast is very much understood, very much accepted. Like the difficult or ugly parts of themselves, the unacceptable parts of themselves, like that is very much cradled or understood or nurtured by the moon person. So the Pluto person feels very much comfortable in the with the attention of the moon person. There's a real feeling of emotional safety between these two people. So the Pluto person can feel very revealed by the moon. And the moon person can feel almost like darkened or intensified by the Pluto. This is where a contact where the dark side of the moon is very much revealed by the moon person. And it's done in such a way that is actually pretty painless because they are very inspired by the, by the Pluto parts of the Pluto person, and that makes them feel very safe to emotionally reveal parts about themselves. So they're very sexually attracted. There's a real good sense of rhythm between these two. The sex is actually quite beautiful when we have a quintile between the moon and Pluto, or Venus and Pluto. The lovemaking can actually, almost be a work of art between the two. So it's really an aspect about pushing each other to become a whole person. They can inspire each other to do the work involved in order to feel very whole and complete within themselves. And when we feel that way, when we're getting that from someone else, when someone is inspiring us to grow in ways that are healthy and correct for ourselves, that really leads us to love somebody in a very authentic way because they have helped us to become who we are. There is a genuine appreciation with this contact for how each other has been able to inspire the other to do the work to become a complete person, and that leads to this respect, this admiration, this love that's really based on what we have been through together. There's a real connection, an emotional connection with this particular quintile that is quite beautiful in that it's very much about coming together and then proving to each other that you can inspire each other towards emotional health. So I hope you found this interesting, and I do want your comments about what synastry videos you are looking for, because you may get your request. And I'm not here making videos for myself. I already know all this stuff. So let me know what it is you are looking to learn, what videos you would like to see, because those are the videos that are going to get made, more than what I'm sitting around trying to determine, well, who would like this, or what should my next series be? Let me know what you would like it to be, and I will get on it. So you can find me on the internet at truthandaspectastrology.com. Yes, I do private consultation all the time. I specialize in partnership and intimacy astrology, but I interpret all types of charts under the sun. You can find me on Facebook at Truth and Aspect Astrology, where you should be following me because I do the daily astro weather forecast, birthday descriptions, articles, writings, all kinds of stuff. So hook up with me over there, and I will be back soon with more super cool videos in an office that is hopefully going to be finished. Bye-bye.